All right, Joe. We're back.
What?
Movie Howl, a little different for another episode where two old men talk about movies that are not meant for them.
I mean,
This was your idea to talk about the Minecraft movie, which I've seen now.
okay, so yeah, the Minecraft movie. Not so much to talk about the movie, but I'm more interested in the reaction the movie's causing. I went and saw the Minecraft movie with the kids. My wife, we had a day before Good Friday. They didn't have school, and so we didn't have work. Let's go see the Minecraft movie. Now, I mean, you said you watched it as well. Mm-hmm. It had moments, had some lines that it's interesting to watch nowadays when semi-self-aware movies like this meme. Like when it said in the very beginning with Jack Black's character as Steve.
Yeah.
Children yearn for the mines.
Yeah, that was one that stuck out to me a lot because Children Yearn for the Mines is like not the generation that's seeing this movie. That was a meme for 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. I saw that that way it started to get popular. People were like, look, the children yearn for the mines, and all the millennials went. And that was over. That was part of my notes. That was one of the first things I wrote down was...
Oh, look at this. He's got notes this time, Halligans. I do not.
Yeah, I wrote, children yearning for the mines is pretty lame. Meme from when I was a kid, wrong generation. That was my note.
I mean, it's one of those things I felt that very similarly to when we would watch cartoons with our kids, or the cartoons for when we were kids that always had adult references in them. Mm-hmm. References that were not meant for the target audience of what it generally is that you were watching. I kind of felt like that was for me. And I enjoyed that. There were some things in here I enjoyed. Some other things that were just pretty basic Hollywood that we're seeing right now. There was some girl bossing. There were some, men are not really as... Like the person who would potentially be thought of in, well, obviously other movies themselves. Mm-hmm. Jason Momoa is Aquaman, mm-hmm. being the easiest example, or Khal Drogo, whatever you want to, put him with. But he's still the big, muscly guy, but he was not that character in this movie.
And I thought that was on purpose.
It was absolutely.
There's a lot of movies where they have to relieve. It's like cause tension. I'm trying to say the opposite. Like you have to make the big muscly guy like a little bit incompetent, so it's not just like fine. Like, oh no, it's fine. Doesn't matter that the zombies or the skeletons are after us. Like we've got this guy, he can probably handle it. I like that he's a little bit inept, more than a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't know.
I did kind of notice partway through he didn't really accomplish much until the very end.
Very end, yeah.
Other than that, he was kind of he didn't know what he was doing. He was trying to look cool and kind of screwing things up because of it. Although when they were first fighting those zombies or whatever, like when they were running through the forest, like it went to night really quick.
Yeah, that was great.
They're like, that was fast. And he's just like, let me in, but he's fighting off all these zombies or whatever. Like I was like, oh, he's gonna be maybe kind of good at it. No, that was just he had to survive that part. So do you want me to tell you what I think of the movie in total?
Sure.
I liked it.
You liked it?
I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah, I went into it being like, all right, a lot of the YouTubers that we watch are like 50. Really, the majority of people doing reviews of this thing are talking about it and its cultural impact are between like 28 and 55.
Okay, yeah.
So it's really not aimed at them. But for a kids movie, I thought it was pretty good. Like, it's fine. Totally fine. I made note that, it's definitely aimed at kids. Like, the narration in the beginning is very much for kids. They're speeding through introductions to the world and how Steve got there and stuff like that. There's a few jokes that are a little older and they just hint to probably people in their late 30s, early 40s and what they think is funny for a Minecraft joke. I thought that their introduction to the characters, because I thought about it after the fact. It's like, I don't wonder much about many of these characters except the Donna character. By the time I was done with the movie, I didn't remember why she was there. I know she's there. Is
that the older sister?
No, that's Natalie. Donna's the one that meets them when they get to their house. And she has like the llama in the car.
Right, she's got the petting zoo. She's the realtor.
Is that what her thing
I
is?
think she starts as a realtor, but she got some side hustles.
Because I couldn't remember, like, why is she in this? Was she part of the chip factory, or what did she do?
No, she's just like the DEI comic relief.
I don't know.
I've seen her in other things, and unlike other people that they throw in just for the purposes of trying to be funny, who, for whatever reason, and I don't know her name, she was one of the girls in the new, when I say new, Ghostbusters remake, or when it was all the girls, and just like one of them, I just don't like her. But it's not like I know she was on Saturday Night Live, but I didn't have a reason behind it. But this girl here, I don't know the actress's name, but yeah, I've seen her in some other things. I thought she was okay in that. I thought she was okay in this. And I might agree with you as far as it's a kids movie, and it's fine. It's fine for a kids movie. I think it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, and I think that they did I don't know if I got around to this point. I think they did a better job than movies like Suicide Squad in introducing people, like especially Gargar or Garrett Gargar. Yeah, that's what he calls him. Garrett the Garbage Man. I wrote his name down. Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison. My brain wouldn't hold on to that name.
The Garbage Man.
So I had to make a note of it when I finally heard it again. I also I was trying to get the characters' names. And the sister, the first time I remember the name was when she was holding that lamp, like a pig lamp. Mm-hmm. Like a piggy bank lamp thing, whatever that is. But on the bottom it says to Natalie from Mom. It's like, okay, Natalie. I don't think anybody said that yet. There's only a few times where they say names. And there's stuff that they seem to know each other. Maybe I was just in and out. Maybe I was like blacking out during this movie. But there were things where it's like, I don't remember them talking about this or doing that. I don't know why they know this about each other. But it's like, it doesn't matter. It reminds me a lot of some of the older like 80s and early 90s style movies that we've watched where they just really speed through a lot of things. There's just a lot of shit that happens. Like, I was like, okay, Jack Black is storing this super powerful cube that allows you to move between dimensions under his waterbed. First off, never seen a waterbed that was off the ground, that had legs like a normal bed.
Correct.
That was something I noticed, but it's like little kids aren't going to know that. They're just going to go, oh, waterbed, that's old, that's funny. And it's like, that makes as much sense as feeding an alien Reese's Pieces and hiding it in your closet.
Yep.
And we accept E.T.
Yep.
So this is fine.
E.T.'s classic.
This is fine.
That's fair. As a good comparison, it's just as...
Yeah, it's just as bizarre.
Is it, though?
No, E.T.'s worse. E.T.'s more bizarre.
Is E.T.? I mean...
more bizarre.
Like, I like Reese's Pieces. I can understand that... Well, I eat these and I like them, so...
The thing I was most confused about from a logic standpoint was, like, time. Because he's like, all right, I was a kid, I wanted to get into the mines. Now I'm old. Like, I have a gray beard. I'm an adult now. Mm-hmm. I want to go back into the mines. I love that it's the same old guy, like, with the messed up teeth, kind of just... and they just run past each other, and he mines away. And...
Yeah, that was...
He's like, and I was there for years, and I was alone, and I was this and that. But then he sends Dennis the wolf to his house in the round world.
Right, in the real
It's like, how
world.
does he still have a house? Kid's not going to think about that.
Right.
And then Garbage Man finds the cube in a storage auction. So his stuff, like that house, is that he has been declared dead. There's an investigation. He was declared dead. His house was cleared out. Stuff was put into storage. Whoever or whatever entity was paying for that stopped, and now it's up for auction. That's an implied backstory that kids don't care about. Like,
nope.
It's just a way for Jason Momoa to get that cube thing that the orb. Mm-hmm. The square orb.
The orb that is a cube.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah. Did you find it at all odd, just at all, that he finds the orb in this auction? I know he's all pissed off. He doesn't get it was an Atari or something.
Some Atari game, yeah.
Yeah, some Atari thing. And he didn't get it. And he gets this, like, did he not see the same thing that we saw watching the movie?
That they were like glowing.
Right, there's glow. Like, you don't normally get things that independently glow that don't look. It didn't look like it was a thing that took batteries.
Right.
Like, it doesn't look like a piece of technology that we like. Oh, I know that's a Rubik's cube. So the fact that he wasn't at all curious about it, and the kid comes in, who I like the kid.
Yeah, Henry.
Yeah. Liked Henry.
Calls him Hank. Garrett calls him Hank, which is pretty cool.
I liked the dish his sister made for him that he just took.
Tater tot pizza.
Right, that he
Tater tot breakfast pizza. Yeah, it's like that.
And Garbage Man just keeps it.
Because it was early-ish when I watched that. And I hadn't eaten it. And it's like, I would do that.
Right?
That's how I'd roll the dice on eating a piece of that. And I like that Jason Momoa just reaches in and just fingers right through the foil and he's like, oh, some kind of breakfast pizza? It's like, how do you know that? I like that a lot.
Yeah, the interaction between them was okay.
Jason Momoa looked like he was having fun, especially during the intro scene where it's showing him going about his day. He's like blow torching a steak. I even wrote like this might just be what he does.
This might actually be. We're just going to film you in your day to day, and
it's like either he's warming up to be Lobo because the rumor is he's going to be Lobo in the new DC universe.
He would.
So this is like a lighthearted Lobo. I was explaining Lobo to Kim. She's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "That is Jason Momoa, except totally like white albino skin, and he rides a space motorcycle, like big handlebars, long forks in the front." But it flies in space for no reason.
It's so good.
It's so cool. He's such a good guy. I remember the cartoon in the early 90s where every time Lobo showed up.
Yep.
Like, this is going to be
it's going to be a good episode. Absolutely. This is going to be a good one. It's exactly what I was thinking of because I didn't read a lot of DC, so I had no introduction to him.
I have no idea if Lobo's in the comics or not. I just know I've never read a comic with him in it.
That's true. There was no... oh my God, what's her name in Suicide Squad? There was no Harley until the cartoons. Yeah. So yeah,
he may be an invention of the cartoon.
That would be fantastic. It's such a fun character. I think if it's something that's going to be brought off of that, I'd say Jason would have a good bit. Do I get to say it? No, Mr. Momoa would have a good bit of work to do.
Sir,
to really, there's a lot of. Like I feel with Khal Drago, with Aquaman, he's more of this gruff and not almost more like Wolverine type of a character. Like I know that character from comics and shows, but like Lobo was super loud, in your face. He was such a fun character. But yeah, I would agree with you with his Garbage Man in this movie it just looked like he was having fun.
Yeah.
And that, when we can see that, when we as the audience, I'd say, when we can see that they're having fun, when like watching, and this was not a movie that was a fun movie, it was good, super dark parts, but Inglourious Bastards. Hans Landa, Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
He was having fun. Like, you watch that, you cannot. There's no way you can tell me you can watch that movie and not be like, he is having the time of his life.
Where they're eating, and he's eating that pie, and he takes the fork, and he just like eats his piece of pie, and he just drops his hand down and kind of looks at across the table. Like, that was one of the ones where it's like, this is the best job he's ever had, I bet.
Right. It is. And they didn't know they were going to be. I remember watching the behind the scenes. They didn't know they were going to be able to put him in the movie, or they were going to be able to have that character in the movie, because nobody. They went through so many auditions and nobody was. Then he came in and did it, and they're like, all right, that's the guy.
Yeah, now he's the German guy. And I like that he went the opposite of a Nazi in Django. He had a redemption.
With the other one.
Well, actually, no. He went dark, didn't he? Because Django was first, chronologically. Like, in-universe time.
Oh.
He was Dr. Schultz, whatever his name
was.
Oh,
I don't remember what his name was in that, but yeah.
And then he died, and then he was reincarnated back in Germany.
That's German. But yes, I thought Jack Black, the mains. Jack Black was having fun. Looked like Henry was having fun. Even, what's her name, who you mentioned, this other comic relief, Donna, like, she's kind of that role in a lot. She's one of those like, here, you're just going to go in this and be yourself, kind of like Megan McCarthy. Just go be that, go be Jim Carrey, go do your thing.
Or are you talking about Donna that was with them in Minecraft World, or the principal?
No, in Minecraft World,
because the principal lady is the same ever since Legally Blonde. She plays the same character.
Oh my gosh, Stifler's mom.
Just like a dumb bimbo.
I forgot.
Who just has like an accent that you can't quite place,
right?
Like a way of speaking that you can't figure out. And she falls in love with the square villager man.
I don't even.
Nobody reacts to it at all, which I love.
I did call something in the theater. I leaned over and said this to Tasha. I said, the next time you see, it was when they were in the restaurant. Mm-hmm. I said, the next time you see a scene of those two, it's going to be both of them laying in bed. She's going to have the sheet up to here. It's going to be that. That's where we're going to... They didn't give that to us. I was a little surprised. It is a kid's movie.
There were a few things that didn't happen that I expected.
But I was like, this is it. The next time you see him is going to be that. And it wasn't. And I even said this to her, to Tasha in the theater. I am over Stifler's mom. I've seen her in enough.
Oh, too much.
Yeah,
enough.
It's a word enough. Yep.
So I was feeling very critical when I first started watching, and I was ready.
Okay.
When the kids show up, I was trying to figure out which one is babysitting which. It's like, why is that one driving? That doesn't make any sense because they both look incredibly young to me. It's like a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old in a car.
But it's more like a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old, and you're like,
no,
wow.
I looked her up. Natalie is played by Emma Myers, who is 23. That kid is 23. And she's going to be like the social media manager for a chip factory.
Yes.
And she was standing, the scene where she's standing in front of them, like all these like grown people, this little Twiggy thing, like, we shouldn't call, what is it, your party packs salt bags or salt sacks or something like that. Like, yes. That's not what we should call it. And then whatever, like, I know kids don't care what a job looks like, but she just looks so funny. But it made me think of John Mulaney, where he's talking about, like, he thought his babysitter was like way older, but he was like 12 and she was like 13 or 14.
Right.
And he's like, you have just a slightly larger child babysit you. He's like, that's like, I'm going out of town and I'm going to have a horse watch my dog. But anyway, it was just a thing that I noticed and wanted to bring up was, like, maybe if anybody's watching this or listening in the comments or whatever, did she look extremely young to anybody else? Did it look like two children who were just on the run?
Yep.
And I actually appreciate that they had some kind of backstory. There was a reason why they were on their own, but they don't have to explain it to us.
No, they don't.
Like, there's a circumstance. They lost their parents. They're on their own. That's why they're here. That's why they're now moving into this place and this.
Was this? I didn't. Wait. Was this? Is this a Disney movie? They lost their parents. That's a Disney thing.
They hate parents.
Exactly. So I didn't realize. I thought Minecraft might have been.
The only parents are step parents in
the
Disney movie, and they're awful.
They're always awful. As far as the Minecraft movie itself, I remember talking to the kids, and there were some things that they did in this, or they showed, that we felt were inconsistent with the world of Minecraft.
I know nothing. I played Minecraft in like 2010, 2012, something like that, for a little while, and then I realized I am going to lose most of my life in this game. Like, I remember one time I built this huge base, like, in the trees, and I put a torch, and the torch was too close to the leaves.
Right.
And the leaves caught, and I burned the whole forest down. I was like, that might have been the last time I ever played. Like, I built like train tracks going down, like redstone tracks going up, so I could get down and like get to this boat and get to other islands and stuff. I
remember talking to the kids, and they felt there were some inconsistencies. Like, I thought that the ghasts that the pigmen were flying around on, they were way too fast. In the game, they're super slow. When you actually get there, they just really float around. But
it was like a Top Gun scene.
Yeah, they were. It was. But there were some other ones that they had talked about. But I thought, like, overall, it's at least, I know you're taking another video game, and a video game that literally has no story.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, it's not about story. There is things you can do. You can collect the things to make the gateway like they did. But for a video game movie adaptation, and I hadn't even considered this part of it till right now. But as a video game movie adaptation, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was fairly faithful to, the world of Minecraft, which is really, that's what it's about. They could do whatever they wanted to do with the story because Minecraft doesn't have a story. I didn't know, like I told you, I didn't know until I talked to my kids who Steve was. That Steve was the guy you played. Yeah. I just know I load up, I played I didn't get into it like that. I just enjoy playing Minecraft. It is surprisingly addictive.
It's bad. It's like TikTok. Funny enough,
I don't TikTok, but I get it.
The same genre. Yeah, Kim got TikTok. This was years ago. She was like, "You should try it." I downloaded it. I scrolled through. I looked up. It was 4 hours later. Like, I'm not doing that again. And I was thinking about, like, the Mario Brothers movie from the early 90s, 93-ish.
Like John Leguizamo early, like that one.
I think so.
The
live action one.
It was him and Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
The
Bob
guy
Hoskins
from Roger Rabbit. They played the Mario Brothers.
Yeah, and that was crazy, and it was nothing like the game. This was a lot like the game. Like, this looked like the game. I like how they, like Henry runs into the tree and it like pops, and he's like, "Oh, what is, if I and I throw it down, it becomes the thing again." Like, that was cool. And then Steve just explained, here's how the stuff works.
Yep.
There's no like big long. They could have made it a whole half of the movie, just like, where are we? Like, what is this? How does this stuff work? But they're like, nope, we're just gonna get into it. And
because they knew everybody watching the movie
already knows.
And the little kids, it's not going to matter for the little kids, but everybody already knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very nice thing that they got to do it that way.
And then there are other movies that they make, like Resident Evil movies, and did they do a Doom one?
Yep. The Rock.
Okay.
Rock was in the Doom movie.
It was either Rock or Vin Diesel, but those just never. They always seem to choose the wrong ones. They choose like heavy action ones with stories that are hard to adapt. They seem to avoid the ones that would make like a perfect adaptation. Although they did the Last of Us show. Mm-hmm. But like games like that, and the Uncharted series is one that I've always thought would make a great adaptation. They did that one with Tom Holland.
Tried,
but I heard that was awful, so I didn't even bother with it. But it's like they have it. Like, I have a friend who just watched it on YouTube. He didn't buy the game or play it. Somebody clipped out all the cutscenes. And he's like, "That's an incredible story. Like, this was the best movie I've seen in years," and it's just like 4 hours of cutscenes.
Wow.
for a game with no story, it looks like they kept pretty true to, for the most part, what you can do, what you can expect to happen. Yeah,
there were some things they did that were really cool.
Story. And I didn't feel like there was anything it was refreshingly non-political. Mm-hmm. It was really nice to not see like a Trump allegory or whatever, whatever modern day issues being brought up. Like, it's just creativity, being stuck in the past, like figuring out who you are. Like, I like that. I appreciated that.
Yeah. This I thought there were some things that, even the little, I think, gripes that we did have, there were some other things that they did that were very faithful to, like you mentioned, he runs into the tree and then he figures it out and he starts punching it, which just reminded me of the Simpsons episode where they teach all the parents how to do things in Minecraft, which was fun. The throwing the water down to survive, thought that was good.
Yep.
They probably could have, and I guess it's open-ended because, and I mean, spoiler, I don't really know. It would be hard to spoil this movie.
It has nothing to do with the story of the movie.
Yeah. So the end of it is going to hint that they're going to continue this and they're going to do more of these.
Yeah, and they're going to add another character.
Right. Which, as I told you, my kids lost their minds. When they did that at there's the first credit scene, then there's the end credit scene, and like they lost their minds. But it was nice to see something that was pretty faithful. There were things and perspectives that we didn't get, like, because there are times when you're in Minecraft, especially that you're not the creative, you're just in the world, and you go in a cave, and then all of a sudden that cave is, oh, this is a hole, and you're like you talked about. I scrolled for 4 hours. Oh, you mean I was down under the earth for like a week in Minecraft time and like 8 hours in real life time? Like, you're just down there.
Maybe that's what he means by like, I was there for years. Maybe it's just Minecraft time different in the way it is when you're playing the game. You just blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
I know exactly what you do.
You get into it, and then all of a sudden there's perspectives, like when you look down and there's things that they didn't do in this that they now have the option of diving into for the next one. And because Minecraft has no story whatsoever, it's really, I could at least in this case, thinking of it this way, it makes me excited for them to do something new. They're just taking a world. This is just a different world, but there's no story attached to it, and so there's nothing for people to already have their minds made up about characters or about things that should happen, like when you adapt Lord of the Rings or you adapt all these different things. And
right, like,
no, my Superman's this way. Don't do them like this. So
like you're talking about, there are little things that tip you off. Like, no, I'm not gonna like this, and it's stuff like switching the gender or the race of a character or whatever. And I don't think anybody actually gives a shit about that. It's just an indication that maybe this person is not going to be faithful to the source material. They're not going to care that much. Like it used to be that they really worried about whether or not you look like the character you're supposed to be, like Ralph, what's his name?
Brandon Routh.
Yes.
I thought you were saying Ralph.
No, Ralph.
He
played Superman in 2006. They cast him because he looked like Christopher Reeves. It's supposed to be a continuation of those stories. I've always thought like how like Blade was my favorite superhero movie growing up. It's like if I was ever an actor, how awesome would it be to get to play him? But I know they never would. Like I know they would never cast somebody to look like me, because that would be just so different from the way he looks. Even though in most of the material I've seen, like his race doesn't really play into it at all. It's just one of those things, like you cast people who look like the character.
Yeah, like I mean,
and now they've kind of changed it, but then they also, when they do that, it's usually accompanied by other changes. It is just a signal that you are going to change other things around, right? It's like I don't know.
No. I actually think that's one of the most reasonable and articulate ways I have heard arguing against that stuff, or when we talk about why things fail in the way that they do.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that they cast Jet Black as a black guy in the Cowboy Bebop live action, and people are like, maybe this isn't good. He doesn't look like him. Faye doesn't look like Faye. This may not be faithful. And then it wound up being that he was the best part of the show.
Mushy mushy.
Hello, Vicious.
That was just that's irony, if anything. But yeah, usually when you change things around like that for the sake of doing it, it means you're going to change other stuff and you're going to change the dynamics, and I don't know, it just ends up being somewhat different characters. And I don't know, there are times where I feel okay with it. There are books that I've read that have been adapted where they're totally different, but they're both good. And it's like, cool, I have two different versions of the story now. Like I have both possible outcomes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it doesn't, like, if they introduce the next Bond and it's Idris Elba, I don't necessarily care.
No,
he's British.
I've thought about that.
The whole point of it is I want my Bond to be British.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I probably want my Bond to be a guy. I just want I don't care what he looks like. I just want my Bond to be British. Well, he could be like an Indian guy who just, because you see that and they'll have the British accent. There's some YouTubers I know like that. And
oh yeah, there's two Indian accents. There's the one that is the telemarketer accent,
right?
And then there's the one that is like the most like smooth, beautiful British accent you've ever heard in your life.
Yes.
And I don't know, like Dr. Suresh from Heroes.
There is good and there is evil, right and wrong, heroes and villains. And if
yes.
had that accent, if he could just read me bedtime stories, I'd be so happy.
Really, I enjoyed his character when in the Slam and Salmon. But it's a very interesting way to look at that because I see you changing this thing, it makes me as a fan worried for how you're going to treat what I love. Mm-hmm. Like that's what it is. And it's one of the reasons that, like we've seen things that have worked. The biggest, most successful one, it'd be hard to argue, isn't Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. Now there are things that got changed that even that bothered me, but overall, it's one of the greatest adaptations that we have seen happen. This was a fairly faithful adaptation for what it was that they had to adapt.
Yeah, I like that they just created a story within that world and found a way to link it to ours. The only thing I found a little bit weird was they're like, this is another dimension. And then there's another dimension where the bad guys live. But they keep talking about the real world, which I guess is more for kids. Like, remember, kids, Minecraft's not real. You're not controlling a real Steve in another dimension. That's the only thing I can figure. It's like, why do they keep calling it the real world? There's been nothing to suggest that, like, the villagers aren't real people. One of them is apparently marrying Stifler's mom. And then he starts talking at the end, and he's all eloquent.
Oh my gosh, I don't even.
He's like, I've learned to speak your language, and she speaks villager now. She's like, rah, 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 rah. Sounds like Cousin It.
It was actually one of the things I hated the most about that movie. It was so bad. Her and the villager thing. I'm like, is he? Oh, the villager he's just walking out. He just all right. Do you not know nobody's
wandered
there? He's right there.
It's body positivity. You're square. That's cool. We're roundlings. I felt personally attacked. I felt personally attacked by that one.
I'm in shape. Round is a shape.
I feel like the best lines in the movie were... Every great line was Jason Momoa, I thought. But where he's going to sacrifice himself on the bridge, and Henry's like, you don't have to do that. And he's like, make a song about it? Yeah, make a song about it. He's like, keep it metal, keep it heavy, real instruments or whatever. Like, I like that line. And then I love when he pulls up in the Trans Am, and he takes off the big stupid visor sunglasses, and he's like, I'm Henry's uncle. And Stifler's mom's out there, and she's like, I'd let you drag me all the way to the curb and jump in my can, but you'd have to put lots of holes in it because there's raccoons in there or whatever. Like, whatever weird thing he said. It's something real.
It was so bad.
And he just stares at her, and he's like, whoever divorced you is crazy as hell, and like puts his sunglasses back on and tears off.
He has the potential, like other actors that I've seen, that you go to the movie because it's him. Mm-hmm. Kind of like Henry Cavill. Anything he's involved in, all right, I'm down to watch. I'm down to check that out.
Yeah.
If he wants to sign up to do it, I'm at least going to take the time to check it out. The short stint of him being Witcher, which is really too bad. It really should have focused on him more than it did.
Yeah, that series only covered like part of the first book.
Yeah, it's nice to, like, this is one of those situations, like you said, you see them, they're having fun, but I think for a number of years, it's been the way of, it has nothing to do with what actors are in it. It's not, it's this actor is going to be the draw, and so, now it's what's the IP? Yeah. What is the property that we're using to draw people in?
And I think,
not necessarily the actors and actresses themselves.
To me, I think that's on purpose. That seems like a thing that investors are doing. They don't want a Tom Cruise who can command this massive salary and like basically hijack the movie if they want to, because they have so much influence. It's basically what Tom Cruise and The Rock can kind of do that. Other than that, they've sort of destroyed movie stars. It's just IPs now.
It's almost the best of both worlds, because even though you're using this existing IP, like we talked, there's no story behind it.
Jorge has something for you.
I don't care. I'm busy.
Is that an axe with a microphone on it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Hey, didn't I already tell you about this?
No.
Oh, it's because it's none of your fucking business.
What?
So.
How are you going to use that stupid line?
I'm going to continue.
Now that you got a good reaction out of it, I'm sure you will.
But it was really nice for this, because even though it's the existing IP, the story, it's nothing. We don't know. It's new. They get to just do whatever they want and have fun. Mm-hmm. And it would be nice if Hollywood could start doing that again and just making things to, take a risk. At one point, The Matrix was a risk. Mm-hmm. And then it blew up. Like, it's just... I want more of that. I just want more of that in Hollywood.
Yeah, and I like that this movie is bringing people back to the theaters. I don't get the chicken jockey thing. I thought maybe I would understand it when I saw the scene of like what this was about.
I actually had to ask, is it something that was from Minecraft itself? Right. Am I missing? And they were like, no, it's just this movie.
It's a meme.
And when I say they, I mean the kids.
It's like when everybody started wearing tuxes and stuff to go see the Barbie. I think it was a Barbie movie.
Oh, yeah, Barbie movie.
It was either that or like Morbius or something like that. It became a meme of like posting on Instagram or whatever that you're going and you're dressed up like this. Mm-hmm. Like I saw a lot, like going to my best friend's wedding and it's like denim shorts and a white t-shirt, and it's like going to see the Barbie movie, like full tux.
Yeah, I think they did that. They would watch one and then the other, the Oppenheimer and then Barbie.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that this is bringing people back. I think it's good. And I don't know. I was thinking on the way over here about that strong bad email video thing you sent me where Homestar is like, do you remember when the internet wasn't just 4 websites that are all on your phone?
That was such a good line. I had to actually stop and be like, whoa, that...
It used to be you watch cable. You see movie ads on cable. Like everything is on sort of 1 or 2 places. Like you have Dish, you have cable, you have whatever. You go to the theaters. That's about it as far as entertainment. But you had a million websites that you went to and services that you use for different things. Now you have like 3 or 4 services that you use, and that's about it as far as the internet goes. But as far as TV goes, it has now diversified. They've like swapped. Now the places you go online are really concentrated, but the places you get your shows and movies are really diversified to the point where there's probably a lot of really good stuff out there. Like I watched a movie called Spaceman with Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's on a spaceship near Jupiter with a giant talking telepathic 5-foot spider. And it is actually a pretty good movie. I'd never heard of it. I saw like a YouTube short with a gigantic spider on a spaceship. So I clicked it, and then I looked at the description. It said it was from that movie. And it's like, why? This is so weird and experimental.
They
Why have
just
I not
made
heard
it
of this?
too. It's 2024.
Yeah.
What?
But you just never hear about this stuff anymore. That was something that I've heard argued as well, as like there's still good stuff and there's still experimental stuff out there. It's just now it's being put on these streaming services where it's being given no advertising, no attention. Nobody knows it.
Yeah, the reaction when I found out, and I didn't see anything having to do, because, I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, apparently when this particular scene comes on in the movie, all the Generation Z? Is that Gen Z is the one doing this?
Gen Z or Gen Alpha?
Gen Alpha? Yeah.
Gen Z would, I think, be the ones that are like throwing the popcorn.
Right.
Or like the guy, I saw one where he like snuck a live chicken in.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think he threw it.
He was on somebody else's shoulders holding the chicken. Yes. Yeah, I saw that too. And you had mentioned this with somebody else who was reviewing this and talking about it, and they said, "Oh, unpopular opinion, but I'm really excited to see this, even if they're jacking up the theaters and things." Which I'm, number one, really glad nobody did that in our theater, because I would not have been expecting it, and I don't know how I would have felt about it in the moment. But when I saw the videos of it, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on in these theaters?
I can see you
and I'm
getting
like,
showered, like all of a sudden popcorn just raining down on you, and you're like, son of a...
what? That's crazy.
It's not me at all.
No. But watching it and thinking about it, like the camaraderie of that, the sense of community of that. Now, don't get me wrong, you cannot help but feel bad for the staff who has to deal with that.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
There's time limits. There's only so much time between. But if movie theaters, and as we know them want to survive, they have to want things like this to happen.
They have to lean into the memes.
They do. Because that's the culture is just different than what it was.
Yeah, we only talked about this movie because I knew about the meme, but I didn't really know anything about the movie. And I was like, I just want to go and see some other movie, but I want to order like 4 popcorn buckets for just me and my wife and see what they do. Like, what movie are you seeing? Like, why? Yeah, I'm glad that I saw it. There was a joke. I can't remember what it was now, but there was one joke that made me laugh out loud. Like, actually kind of hard. And I wish I remembered what it was. I don't remember.
How'd you not put that one in your notes? What?
Yeah, I don't know.
What terrible notes do you got?
I have notes like Creeper Farm is a decent band name. Roundlings, I feel personally attacked.
Creeper Farm is a decent band.
Velvet Mischief was my nickname in high school. I was glad to see that on
Velvet
that
Mischief.
cologne that they used.
That's so good. I think unlike the kinds of movies that I miss that we do not make anymore, that we watched as kids, like The Neverending Story or The Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, these adventure movies that gave you and took you on journeys. This isn't that. I believe it has the potential to be that. It has the potential because all of one of the differences, or the similarities, I should say, in what the kind of movies I refer to, whether it's in the two of them, Labyrinth and Neverending Story, it is somebody from the real world going somewhere, which is basically what's happening here. And there's so much wide open just space for imagination and to really be creative and do things that are fun. And so it could be in the future something to look forward to, but the problem is everything gets like it all gets turned into one after another after another after another. Like I told you I was watching a bunch of different trailers. I think one of the ones I saw was for what is presumably the last Mission Impossible movie, or at least the last Mission Impossible movie with Tom Cruise.
Right. I mean,
they're not gonna let it go.
There's a precedent for it. I mean, Mission Impossible was a TV show first. The first villain was the original hero. How cool would that be if they wait like 10 years and bring old man Tom Cruise back to be the villain for the new one?
As Ethan Hunt?
Yes, as Ethan Hunt. Like, Ethan Hunt is now, like, they think he's turned a million times. He's actually turned now.
That would be, that could be great. I did, when I saw the trailer, it made me think.
Or he's the new secretary.
They've all been good, right? They've all been good. Tom Cruise just out here killing it, just doing what he does, making all the money.
Yeah, he's like, I'm 60, but I'm a vampire. So.
Right, yeah. Doesn't matter. You saw that documentary they made of him and Brad Pitt, Interview with the Vampire?
Yeah,
obviously.
Documentary film.
Mm-hmm. Documentary.
And, all right, so final verdict?
I mean, yeah, this is easily this is a watch.
Yeah, it's a good family movie.
It is a good family movie. Is it a watch just for you as
like a middle-aged person?
Am I just going to go sit down? No, I have no desire. I do not ever need to sit down and turn on the Minecraft movie again. But there are things about it that make me optimistic for the future. I thought it was clever. And as somebody who has put several hundred hours into Minecraft, that might be saying it lightly. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. If you ignore the little nitpicks that other YouTubers and podcasters get into, it's good. Like, it's a good kids movie. Like, there's no weird politics. There's no, like, nothing that I find objectionable. There's no issues that I would have letting Rose watch that if that's what she wanted to do.
I would say before we fully shut it down, and I did want to make mention of this because it was one of my favorite things that was adapted into this movie, and that was the Enderman. I liked how they did that. I liked the scene with him and Henry. I liked how it translated onto the screen from what it was in the game. I thought that was well done.
Okay, the thing that made me laugh, I can't believe I was been thinking about this the whole time. The very ending where the like pig queen lady is on the ground and she's like, come here. And he's like, take a knife, are you gonna try to stab me? She's like, no. And she's like, yeah. And he just slaps it away. And she does like 2 more times. Like, that was so good. I was like, I called it from like when we first see that she's on Netherworld's Got Talent or whatever it's called.
Yes.
She's going to rediscover her creativity. That's how this is going to end. And I love that that's not what happened. Because that's what I expected. But no.
No, yeah. It was okay. It's definitely going to be a watch from Movie Howl for a family movie. I'm not ever need to turn it back on again, like I said. But it's a watch. It was interesting if you're a fan of Minecraft. I mean, a little nostalgic. A little bit of nostalgia for us.
Yep. All right. Bye.
Bye.